Hello and welcome to the Showa era. This channel's goal is to provide viewers a glimpse at Japan's iconic and storied Showa era, the period from December 25th, 1926 to January 7th, 1989, during which Emperor Showa, more known in the West by the name Hirohito, was the Emperor of Japan. The Showa era was the longest reign of any emperor in Japanese history, with of course Emperor Showa being the longest lived emperor in the country's history. The Showa era is actually a tale of three different periods in the country's history and the tale of two completely different states. 1926 to 1945 was the Showa era of the Empire of Japan, which saw the rise of Japan as a modern military power, the rise of nationalism and militarism, leading into the country's war with China, the puppet state of Manchukuo, and the war in the Pacific. September 2nd, 1945 to April 28th, 1952 was the Showa era of an occupied Japan. Having lost the Second World War, Japan was occupied by Allied powers and would undergo several reforms and societal changes during this time. The emperor would denounce divinity and begin to interact more with the common people of Japan. A black market economy would rise up as shortages and rationing continued well through the end of the war, and the hardships of this era would leave impressions on many of Japan's prominent artists, filmmakers, musicians, and politicians. And it's during this time that Japan would develop an unusual love for foreign media, as the Japanese would be exposed to cowboys, American folk tales and folk heroes, and other aspects of American culture. Part of the American occupation of Japan limited the amount of Japanese nationalist heroes could be portrayed in Japanese media. During this time, gone were the stories of samurai and ninjas, but in their place were the stories of frontiersmen, cowboys, and radio heroes such as the Green Hornet, and much, much more. And finally, the period of Japan that many Japanese people look back on fondly, April 29th, 1952 to January 7th, 1989. Japan experienced an economic miracle as the people rose up out of the ashes of the Second World War and were able to stand on their own 2 feet yet again. The return to a military with the Japanese Self-Defense Force, student protests, and the growth of the rail system, the return of Okinawa, and much more happened in this period. Much of what we associate about Japan comes from this era. The explosion in popularity of anime and manga, the rise of the video game market, the Famicom taking the world by storm, the Japanese exports of cars, Japanese tin toys, and Japanese appliances all come directly from this post-occupational era. We'll cover all of this and much more in detail here on the Showa Era channel. Thank you for watching, and we hope you'll consider sticking around.